Hey, I wanted to show how I make this little book that you can carry to make notes. I think it would be like a homemade version of something like a moleskin, I think it's called. And I know there's a lot, I'm sure you can easily find videos about bookmaking. And sometimes that might be a little bit overwhelming if you watch some of the, the videos that are made like professional bookmaking. So this is just, it literally has a cereal box as a cover. It has a little flap that keeps it closed. It's made out of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And it's a good size to fit into a pocket, so you can carry it anywhere, and you can make it with acid-free paper if you want, or even just, I think you can get, in the past I've gotten acid-free printer paper, which is what I use, and so it's just a handy little thing for notes and you can carry around. So let me show you how I make it. This is the material list. You'll need some paper, needle and thread, some white glue. I like to use this packing tape to wrap the outside to make it more waterproof, kind of, or water resistant. Some kind of heavy card stock. I actually like using something like reusing something like an old cereal box so it doesn't just get thrown away. A piece of fabric that is long enough to go down the length of the spine and can wrap around the spine a little bit. Also, a pair of scissors. And that's all you'll need. Oh wait, you'll also need some clamps and boards, or some heavy weights and books or something to clamp it while it's drying. This is what you need to do to get these little folds of paper. Like I said, you can make this any size you want, but I prefer this size, and it works great with the 8.5 by 11 paper, which most people can easily get. So you start by folding it in half, then fold it in half again. What I like to do is put my finger in here and pull out, so you get a nice crease. If your folds aren't perfect, it's not the end of the world. You can always trim the pages once the book is assembled. See there, I like to pull that out again and try to see how that kind of squared off. If you pull it out, it can try to hopefully prevent that. You can make your book as thick or thin as you want, but I want this one to be thinner, so I'm only going to do 3 of these. If you are making a thicker book, or you're making a book that's bigger and only has, like this would only have 4 pages per fold, you can nest them inside of each other for the next step, which you'll be sewing the pages together. But in my case, since I'm just making it thin, I'm going to leave them separate. Another thing I like to do is see how right here the paper is connected, and down here it's open. So I like to alternate that. I'm not sure exactly why, but that's what I like to do. So closed, open, closed. So I'll come back with the next step. It's a good idea to mark where the needle will go in and out. So I like to go, you start the place where it goes in, and then I'll say in, out, in, out. You could theoretically, I suppose, go in here and then just out over here, but I think overall it's good to try to estimate a number of stitches that aren't too close and aren't too far apart. I think if they're too far apart, this thread would probably put too much stress on the paper and might tear. So I'll come back with the thread ready to sew. The question I always have for myself is, how much thread do I need to use? Well, the way I kind of estimate is I'll give myself so much for tying the knot, tying it at the end, and then I'll estimate the length. I'm going to be going this way, that way, and that way, so it's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I just give myself a little extra to try to, just to be safe. So that's that. So the first step is kind of unfold it, and I put my fingers here to get an idea of where it's going to come out. Then you sew in. Then to know where to come out from the inside, you're not sure, I put my thumb right there and have my finger matching on the other side, and then I just try to guess, and then if I'm close, great. If I'm not too close, then I'll move it. So, joining the next page, put it up right here, fold this one open like I did the first, and then just sew right in. Eventually you're going to want to have a lot of tension right here. You're going to want it to be tight, but for now it's okay if it's loose. So now that I'm done sewing, I'm going to go through and try to pull these threads to try to tighten the pages close, to be as close to each other as possible. I'm going to take this thread and wrap it around through there. I suppose you could go through again, and here you can really pull it snug. Then what I do is I come and and start binding the rest of these threads together. Then I pass it back under this thread to make a half hitch that snugs them together and allows me to pull the thread this way without it sliding. Then I'll do the same at this end. Pass the needle through here. I'm gonna tie it off to there. Again, as tightly as I can. I just tied a square knot, and just a quick thing that has always helped me to be sure I'm tying a good square knot as opposed to a granny knot is if you say to yourself when you're tying it, right over left, then through, then left over right. So anyway, that's my tip. Okay, so now that these are tied, we're going to snip this, and then we'll prepare the spine to be glued.